Okay, so I have to be honest. Looking at all the material we pulled for today, the travel journals, architectural reports, I realized my image of Poland was, well, it was completely two-dimensional.
A lot of people have that image.
Yeah, gray skies, maybe some pierogi. But the sources we're diving into, they paint this picture of something much more chaotic.
Yeah.
I mean that in the best way.
Chaos is a fair word. Or maybe collision.
Collision, I like that.
Yeah, the research really emphasizes that Poland isn't just one thing. It's where this deep medieval history just slams right into modern resilience.
Right.
You've got these hyper-modern cities, and then you just drive a few hours, and you're in a forest that looks like it hasn't changed since the Ice Age.
And that contrast starts right away with Warsaw, the capital. I was reading the architectural notes, and I got a little confused, actually.
Oh, how so?
They talk about the old town being a UNESCO site, but then another source says it's effectively brand new. How does that work?
That is the paradox of Warsaw. It's when most people get tripped up. You walk down those cobblestone streets, you see the beautiful townhouses, and you think, wow, the history here. But what you're actually seeing is a masterpiece of illusion.
Illusion.
During World War II, about 85% of the city was leveled, just gone.
So it's a replica.
It's a reconstruction,
Yeah.
but calling it a replica, it feels almost insulting, given the effort involved. The architects didn't just guess.
Right.
They used these 18th century landscape paintings by an Italian artist, Gelato, to rebuild the city brick by brick.
No way.
Yes, they literally painted the city back into existence.
That is incredible. So Warsaw is this Phoenix city, but then the notes describe Krakow as something totally different. A time capsule.
A completely different energy. Krakow mostly escaped the bombing.
Ah.
So when you see Warsaw Castle on the hill, or you stand in that massive main market square, you are touching the original fabric of the country. It wasn't a race, it's the cultural anchor.
Speaking of anchors, the research takes a pretty heavy turn there. You can't really talk about Krakow without also mentioning outfits.
You can't, and you shouldn't. The sources are very clear that visiting the memorial isn't just tourism, it's an act of witnessing.
A necessary counterweight, maybe?
A necessary somber counterweight to the vibrancy of the city.
Exactly. It's interesting you say counterweight because reading through the travel logs, it feels like that historical heaviness is balanced by the sheer scale of the nature. Like the land itself is healing.
That's a beautiful way to put it. There's a profound silence in history, but there's also a profound silence in the wilderness.
Like in the Białego forest. That report was wild, unintended. It says it's a primeval forest.
One of the last in Europe. It's an ecosystem that functions almost exactly as it did thousands of years ago. It's the only place you can see the European bison.
The heaviest land animal on the continent.
The heaviest, exactly roaming free. It's not a park. It feels like a prehistoric world.
And then, to throw a total curveball, the geography notes mention beaches. I don't usually associate Poland with a Riviera vibe.
Most people don't. But up north on the Baltic Sea, in Sopot, you have this resort culture. And the longest wooden pier in Europe.
This triangle. Mountains in the south, Eden forest in the east, and then a sandy coast to the north.
That's the one.
Okay, we have to talk about food before we wrap, but I want to skip the dumplings for a second. I kept seeing the word fermentation pop up everywhere.
Yes. If you want to understand the Polish palate, you have to understand fermentation. It's born from necessity surviving winter, but it's become an art.
And this is where that soup, urek, comes in, right?
Exactly. Urek isn't just soup. The base is fermented rye flour.
Fermented flour.
And that's what gives it that distinct, sour, savory kick. It's complex chemistry in a bowl, usually with some sausage or an egg.
It really seems like everything in Poland, from the rebuilt bricks of Warsaw to the soup, is about resilience.
That's the core theme, and it raises the big question I want to leave you with. In a country where borders have literally shifted on the map for centuries, the cities have been wiped out and painted back to life, how do they maintain such a fierce, unified cultural identity?
That is the puzzle. Thanks for diving into the sources on Poland with us.
My pleasure.
Catch you on the next deep dive.